आंटी, आपने अभी तक मुझे बस 2 ही लड़के दिखाए हैं, पर मेरे कजिन ब्रदर को तो आप 20-20 लड़कियां दिखा चुके हो। ऐसे कैसे होगी मेरी शादी?
देखो बेटा, तुम्हारा भाई थोड़ा चूजी है और वो लड़का है, उसे तो मुझे ऑप्शंस दिखाने होंगे। एंड यू आर अ गर्ल, तुम इतनी पिकी, इतनी स्टबर्न नहीं हो सकती हो। यू हैव टू बी फ्लेक्सिबल, बराबर?
पर मुझे भी तो चॉइस की इक्वालिटी होनी चाहिए, है ना? उसे ही स्पेशल ट्रीटमेंट क्यों? मुझे भी हक है चूजी बनने का।
हक? एक सेकंड बेटा, अरे ये इक्वालिटी वाली को किसने अंदर भेजा है? कितनी बार कहा है देख कर भेजा करो। देखो बेटा, ऐसे तो तुम्हारी शादी नहीं होगी। मैं यहाँ इंटरनेशनल लेवल के इंडियन बॉयज लेकर बैठी हूँ और तुम्हें इक्वालिटी की बड़ी है।
हाँ,
अगर शादी करनी है तो मेरा गोल्डन रूल फॉलो करना होगा, कॉम्प्रोमाइज एंड एडजस्ट। बाकी सब अपने पेरेंट्स, मुझ पे और स्टार्स पे छोड़ दो, बराबर? बराबर? Hello, I am Varuni, not Reema auntie.
and I'm Rohini, not looking for a potential husband. We are from Center for Catalyzing Change, also known as C3, a non-profit organization working for women and girls across India.
And this is the C3 Genderometer, a show that digs deep into all that the pop culture is feeding us, but from a gender lens. A show about our opinions on what works and what doesn't. And if at any point you disagree with us, please share your ideas in the comments below.
I'm sure our introduction was a giveaway already, but for those who don't know, today we'll be talking about Indian Matchmaking, a Netflix India show headlined by Mumbai's top wedding matchmaker.
A reality show that stirred all of social media. And even though it received a lot of flack, we think the show is a reflection of our society at large. No, we are not referring to the idea of arranged marriage, but the unreasonable demand of our society for women to make ultimate sacrifices, compromise on their beliefs, provide hassle-free adjustment, all for marriage.
Throughout the show, we see the matchmaker relentlessly promote the laws of patriarchy that dictate our lives and uphold these archaic norms for all the men and women on the show. And sadly, all the women participants, albeit just for the show, eventually fall prey to the traditionally defined gender roles and limitations that patriarchy imposes on us.
None of this is new for us. We've been seeing this in our families and among our peers. The rishtas, the kundli making, the unabashed judgment of women. It's all familiar.
What is interesting to note here is a recent survey conducted by YouGov, which reveals that 70% people in India want a love marriage over an arranged marriage. Moreover, only 20% women in the country want an arranged marriage. The rest either want a love marriage or don't want to get married at all. Data suggests our society is changing. The millennials are asking for better. So why are we still condoning notions of marriage that are based on inequality?
Exactly. One of the participants on the show, a budding designer in her 20s, repeatedly addresses the need for equality in a marriage. But the matchmaker's pressure is so profound that this young woman is convinced to question her own beliefs and see an actual life coach for a probable attitude shift.
But isn't that what we see around us too? Women have to often push their ambitions aside in order to please their husbands or in-laws. Evidence shows that while India's female literacy rate is 65.45%, currently Indian women contribute only 18% to the country's GDP, which is one of the lowest rates in the world. Women are getting educated, but not joining the workforce.
If arranged marriages in itself weren't a tedious task, it's worse for women who come with a difficult past. In the show, we see how a single mother is portrayed as a challenging prospect for marriage, almost like she's damaged goods and no one would marry her now.
Unfortunately, this is the language of our society, and our society is not very kind to divorced women. Even though India has some of the lowest rates of divorce in the world, NCRB data from as recent as 2 years ago shows that nearly 36.6% of housewives in the country commit suicide. This goes to show that divorce is so stigmatized that sometimes suicide becomes the only way out for a woman.
And if this wasn't enough to see the problematic depiction of gender roles, let's look at how some of the men in the show were treated. One of the participants reveals his affinity for cooking and cleaning, which immediately results in the matchmaker praising him and labeling his to-be wife as lucky. Come on, cooking is a basic skill. Aunties and uncles, stop celebrating men for doing the bare minimum.
The Global Gender Gap Report of 2020 has revealed that it will take us at least 100 years to achieve gender equality. 100!
And if we continue to make shows that promote patriarchal norms and feed into traditional notion of gender roles, we're pushing ourselves further away from achieving this. However, the silver lining lies in what happens after the show. Various participants have come out and given interviews and took charge of their narratives. I even heard one of them got married to a man she met through Bumble.
See? That's amazing. But matchmaking is not what is wrong with the show. It's the unequal treatment of men and women in our society, the difference in expectations, and the amount of space given to voice their needs and wants.
Marriages have been succeeding and failing for ages now. But the one thing that hasn't changed is the suppression of women's voices and agency. So it goes without saying, this show falls drastically low in our genderometer.
And that's it from us on today's episode. For more such videos, keep following us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We're at C3_India. We look forward to your support in our mission to enable women and girls in India so that they are equipped and empowered to realize their rights, access their opportunities, and achieve gender equality.